What if you received the respect you deserve as a professional educator because you were seen as a problem solver instead of a complainer? A teacher who was thought of as a leader and whose opinion was sought out instead of tossed aside. That, my friends, is a true change maker. I'm Vanessa Levin, and you're listening to Elevating Early Childhood. And today, we're going to talk about what it means to be a change maker. And if you know me, you know I love a good analogy. So let's say you decided to plant a garden. You start by reading some gardening books and visiting some gardening websites so you can decide if you're going to plant right in the dirt or check out that hot raised bed gardening fad. You buy some plants from a nursery, you put them in the dirt, you follow all the instructions. You pull the weeds, you water them when they need it, give them fertilizer, and at the end of the growing season, all your plants are bearing fruit. Some have more fruit than others. Some are tall, some not quite as tall. But you can tell that every single plant has been nurtured and cared for. And then a member of the local gardening club drives by your house, sees you in your garden, stops her car, and then she starts commenting on your plants. Some of them she compliments, but she also says that some of your plants didn't turn out looking quite as nice as the others. It's okay, she says. You're a gardener at heart, and it shows. We all have to start somewhere. And next year, with what you keep learning, your garden will be even better. Whoa, wait, hold up, gardener? Did she just say that I was a gardener? Oh no, I'm no gardener, I say. I'm just trying to grow some plants to see if I could do it. And that feeling, my friend, is exactly how many of us teachers of young children view ourselves. Now, if you're attending and nurturing a classroom full of kids, those are the plants in this analogy, it's easy to fall victim to negative thinking like, I'm just taking care of toddlers and preschoolers, or I'm just a preschool teacher. But just like a person who grows plants is a gardener, you are a professional educator. Yes, you. Regardless of the salary you're making right now, regardless of how other teachers view your work, regardless of public opinion, you are educating young children and you are a professional educator. And in this episode of Elevating Early Childhood, we're going to talk about how your entire experience changes when you accept this fact and exactly what it means for you and your students. You know, as teachers, we do it for the kids. We put them first every single time because this is who we are. We care so much about our students and we give so much of our time and attention to them that we often ignore ourselves. I can't even begin to count the number of times I didn't take a day off when I really should have, because everybody knows it's more work to be absent than it is to be present when it comes to teaching young children. Then there's the way we're treated by not just society in general, but the parents of our students sometimes, even administrators, and yes, even unfortunately our own peers. We deal with indignities, both large and small, every single day, like constant meetings during our planning, lunch, after school, and sometimes even evenings. There's lunch duty, bus duty, after school tutoring, you name it, there's probably a duty for it. And these little things, they add up over time, don't they? And if we complain about being treated poorly, we get labeled as bad teachers. And don't even get me started on the whole, you teach preschool? That must be so much fun crowd. And what's even worse is when one of your own colleagues who teaches 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade says, you know, it must be nice to play all day. As early childhood educators, we are so used to being taken advantage of and put down that it's easy to fall into the trap of seeing ourselves as less than too. And that's a very difficult place to come back from once you're there. If we don't start believing in our own self-worth, then who will? If we really want to elevate early childhood as a profession, then we must start believing in ourselves and our value as professional educators. And in order to truly show up for our students and be our best selves, to be good role models, if you will, we must move beyond the mentality of I'm just a teacher or I'm just a caregiver. And we have to truly start believing in ourselves and see ourselves for what we really are. And that, my friends, is change makers. Being a change maker is so much easier said than done, though. A mindset shift like this isn't something that happens overnight. It takes time and it happens gradually. Changemakers know how to speak up for themselves when they're being treated poorly without sounding like complainers. They know how to advocate for their students by focusing on the solutions instead of dwelling on the problems. And they can explain the value of a high quality early childhood education to others without losing their cool. What if you received the respect you deserve as a professional educator because you were seen as a problem solver instead of a complainer? A teacher who was thought of as a leader and whose opinion was sought out instead of tossed aside. That, my friends, is a true change maker. So here's an example from my own life. So one time when we were having torrential rains, we were experiencing several days of really heavy rain, the kind where you can't see. It hurts when it hits your skin. And we as pre-K teachers were getting kids out of the car, the car rider line when they would arrive. We were taking them into the school building and they were getting drenched. We were getting drenched. We had, our own personal umbrellas we brought from home that weren't always holding up to this type of rain, this heavy use in the rain. And the parents were complaining left and right. We were fielding angry parents. Their kids weren't dressed for this rain. It was just a bad situation all around. We were stressed. We were miserable. We had to go through the rest of the day all wet and cranky. So I marched into the principal's office, right? And I complained about it. And you know what his response was? I bet you can guess. Those of you who are administrators are probably already guessed. He said, "Thank you for sharing. I don't control the rain. Come back when you have a solution to that problem." And he showed me the door, and rightly so. You see, I thought I was speaking up for myself and advocating for my students, but the way I did it was all wrong. When you move from a mindset of I'm a victim to a mindset of I'm a change maker, it really does make a huge difference. So here's how I turned that situation with my principal around by focusing on the solution instead of the problem. So I took his words to heart and I really thought about it for a few days. And then I went back to his office and here is what I said. I said, I was wondering if it would be possible to get an umbrella stand and a set of really large umbrellas for the entire pre-K team to use up at pick up and drop off. Teachers at insert name of other campus ordered umbrellas with their school mascot and name from, and I gave him the name of the catalog. Now, if I really wanted to put a cherry on top, I would have suggested which budget he could use to pay for the umbrellas, but who am I kidding? It's public school. There was no budget. So just in case you're wondering, did we ever get those umbrellas? Well, we didn't get the fancy ones with the school mascot and name, but each teacher and assistant did get a nice large umbrella, and I consider that a win in my book. So the moral of the story is, right now, I want you to start thinking of yourself as a professional educator and a change maker. And my challenge is for you to think of just one thing you can do today to start becoming a change maker. Because I believe in you. Yes, you, and you can do hard things. Now, in my book, Teach Smarter, Literacy Strategies for Early Childhood Teachers, you'll learn how you can get started on the path to becoming a change maker by embracing research-based best practices in early literacy instruction that will help your students achieve more than ever before. Now, don't forget, if you liked this episode, please share it with your friends. Until next time, I'm Vanessa Levin, and you're listening to Elevating Early Childhood.